Hey, welcome back to the Let Go Movement podcast. My name is Acacia, and around here we are sharing what it's like to live well, let go, and keep showing up for the life that you are creating and want. Our journeys are unique, they're layered, they're nuanced, and they're never a one size fits all. I'm here sharing what's helping myself, what's helping my clients, and what's possible when we stop holding on to what we were never meant to carry. Let's get into the episode. Hey everybody, welcome back to an episode that I'm very excited to share with you. It's actually a workshop that I did inside a private community, the Fit Fun Carly workout community. This is a group of women who are working out every day together for 15 minutes through Carly. And I'm going to talk about Carly and her work in just a second. But this workshop I did was geared towards a lot of the people who are in her program that are experiencing menopause or perimenopause. And understanding that no matter what is going on in our life, we're part of that creation, including the time period of their life that they're going on now. How they could be experiencing it could be at some effect of the energetics that are undertoning everything, the trapped emotions in the uterus and all the sexual organs that are, going through their next stage of life. I talk about my releasing of emotions for my period cramps. And a lot of women, when they start to release their emotions trapped in their hips and their sexual organs, a lot of life changes for them in various different ways. So this is no different. So I brought these women through a little bit workshop. We tailored it to perimenopause and menopause, but not everyone in the workshop was actually going through that time period. And they found it super beneficial just to really understand what is like underneath it all. And that they too are part of creating their bodies and how what they could be storing and how could they be storing it could be affecting them. So I just wanted to share this workshop with you because something in it, the way I said it, might really ping for you, might land for you, and you might hear it in a different way in this workshop specifically. This was a live workshop too, so I did have people on the call that I was referring to, and we even had Carly be the guinea pig in one of the processes that I do with someone, just to give the group an idea of what part of the process working together is like. Now, I bring in various other modalities throughout working together. Some of you who have worked with me know that, but I started with this one tool. It's kind of like it's my guiding, like, kinda like light tool. It's my guiding source tool. It's my guiding of really tapping into their body and working with them to release whatever their body's ready to release. And then my other tools come in to support and even bring that even deeper if needed and all the energetics that are attached to that. But we can go into that another day. I just want you to hear the workshop, learn. I would love to know what your takeaways are. I would love to know what landed, what maybe you heard differently. And if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. I love reading the comment section. I respond to everything. So if you have thoughts or feelings or a question that you'd like me to further expand on, please drop it in the comments. Let me know. Even go over to Instagram at acacia2b.wellness and hit me up in the DMs with your question and let me know what you thought about the episode. So, a little bit about Carly. So, Carly Fauth is a fitness mentor, instructor, cancer exercise specialist, breast cancer survivor, and the founder of Fit Fun Carly. Carly is redefining what it means to stay strong, get strong, and have fun doing it. Her signature method is quick, effective 15-minute workouts designed for real life. Now, you guys, I've seen her do this. 15 minutes. These workouts are killer. I even used to do quick little workouts for my dance group back in the day. Hers are super killer and fun, and she's there with you live doing these. Whether you're juggling a busy schedule or navigating a cancer treatment, Carly brings energy, empathy, and expertise to every client, helping everyone move with purpose, joy, and resilience. Now, y'all know I love joy. Like, oh my gosh. When I met Carly, I just was an instant connection. So I am so honored that she let me into her community for a guest speaker spot, that we had so much fun on this call, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. So if you also are going through cancer treatment and you want to bring fitness into your daily routine, even though it seems totally far-fetched, there is evidence out there supporting what this woman does with cancer patients. So go ahead over to fitfuncarly.com. I'll make sure I drop the links in below in the description. You can hit her up on Instagram, say hi, go over to her programs and check them out and see if they are right for you. Okay, without further ado, let's get into this workshop and I'll see you at the end. Thank you. Okay, I'm just going to share my screen because I gave myself a little PowerPoint presentation to keep myself on track. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So, hello, my name is Acacia. I am here's giving you a little workshop around a drama-free menopause. So if you are going through perimenopause, menopause, hello, welcome to a new reality of a drama-free experience. I myself have not gone through this yet, but it doesn't mean that I am not using these tools and these processes that I'm going to share with you so that I have a different experience with it as my life progresses. A little bit about me is I am here because I'm infatuated with the possibility when people stop fighting with their bodies and start actually listening and communicating with them and letting go of what we have so beautifully carried and created throughout our years. My background is in movement. I grew up as a contemporary dancer, which means I've had a conversation with bodies, with my body for as long as I can remember. And over time, I've learned that movement is just the surface, but underneath it all, it's all working with the energy, the energetics, the emotions, and the stories that we carry, and that the body generously and beautifully carries it all. My own journey personally has taken me along my own healing path as a stretch therapist, emotion code practitioner, and energy worker, building my capacities with my own intuitive and intuitiveness. And today I am really a blend of everything that I be. My work is grounded in helping women like you clear the noise, that emotional, that energetic weight that keeps us feeling stuck, disconnected, something's not quite this, but it's not quite that. Really looking at what's underneath that and clearing that from the body. I get lit up when my clients access new possibilities and spaces and find that joy with themselves so that they're actually creating a different reality for them and their bodies. And I am blown away every time that I witness the body's ability and willingness to let go when it feels supported, and have witnessed client after client change their life in various ways: pain reduction, anxiety gone, chronic issues disappear or change, and that ripple effect that that has in their life. Little fun facts about me. I'm a manifestor 5-1. If you like human design, I'm a Taurus. I live in Mexico, which Carly already mentioned. I have my own t-shirt line there for my rebels and unicorns. And I really dream about owning a corgi if my husband will one day let me have one. We'll see. So, a couple things to note is that I'm going to be running energy in the background. So, if you start yawning or randomly like twitch, all good. If I start yawning, it's the energy moving. If you're used to sensing energy, or you all of a sudden start to sense that the space around you feels lighter, more expansive, or even dense, a little crowded, this is amazing awareness. This is just you picking up on the energy shifts. Type in the chats, blurt out what comes up when I ask a question, write it down. I want this to be an interactive, informative, fun, playful, and most of all, you get a release of some sort today. Okay, so I have two big asks for you today. One is be wildly curious about what is possible for you, and I'm going to include your body in that, even if it feels far away, far-fetched, totally left field, and maybe impossible right now. And the second ask I have of you today is have a willingness to claim more ease, vibrancy, and joy through this entire experience that you are currently going through, that you are going to go through, and keep claiming more ease, more vibrancy, and more joy. Do you think you can step into those two things for me today? Great. I got some head nods, I got some thumbs up. This is awesome. Okay. So, with my personal experience, because we're talking about perimenopause and menopause, I'm going to go back to my early 20s, actually mid 20s, when I started developing really bad cramps. Because just bring it back to my own experience for a second and what this work can do. And I was taking 6 painkillers, like day 1 through 3 of my period, every month. And I was like, I need to change this. And I didn't want to be on pills anymore. And I wanted to do something different, but my diet was good. I felt like my hormones were in check, all the things I was doing, right? It wasn't until I sat down and started releasing the energetics and trapped emotions around what I felt it was to be a woman and what my uterus was, what my ovaries were doing, what the period meant, and all that social conditioning BS that I literally went from 6 painkillers for the first 3 days of every period to zero. And now, when it kind of starts to get a little uncomfortable, I always go back to this work. I always ask my body, what are you trying to tell me right now? What can I let go of? You're safe. This is uncomfortable, but I'm going to be with you and I'm going to release you. And my periods have changed like night and day. I even just did this about 6 months ago again. I was like, oh, these are getting a little painful. Oh, I haven't released anything. Let me go back. Let me check in. No problem since then. I want to ask this question before we dive into this is what is the most annoying or surprising thing about perimenopause or menopause for you? You can write in the chat. You can just say it out loud. You can write it down. Night sweats. Yep. Cool. So whatever that is, it's information, right? So what I see is I see a possibility where there's drama-free menopause for you available. I'm not going to say that it's like nothing's going to happen, but I am going to shift. I am asking the world, I am asking myself, am asking my clients to shift a different perspective because your perspective creates your reality. And even things we think are just plain, it just happens, people have very vasting and different experiences with this. And what makes their experience different from another person that's outside of the realm of genetics? It's mostly the point of view, it's the energies we hold, it's the emotions. But how the heck do you even go there? Like, what does that even mean? So I'm just checking the chat. So I would like to bring up 3 little myths I see that are stirring up some drama and what we can do to change that. So, Mythbuster little number 1 is menopause is just a physical thing. Now, yes, our bodies are changing. Yes, we have hormones and they're changing. Yes, we have different degrees of pain threshold. Yes, but what is underneath all of that? This is where I love going with my clients and with myself. And this is what changed my period cramps. And I know that have changed actually some other people with their experience when we've been working on things that aren't necessarily related to menopause, but because that's in in their late 40s, early 50s, this is what we did. So we have to first go back to the basics and understand that although this is a physical experience and although our body is doing this, we have a baseline of emotions, beliefs, judgments, conditioning, thoughts, feelings, and emotions stored in our body that then are linked to the physical experience and how we're experiencing everything in life. Now, if you love manifestation like I do, if you love creating your life from a point of conscious creation of it, it's really easy to see it when you would link it to physical things in your world. It's not so fun to look at it from the fact that we create our bodies. Our bodies are always in communication with us. And if we're creating something that maybe we don't really like, it's hard to look at it and see it from, okay, how am I responsible for this? Where did I take part in this? How did I take part in this? What can I look at? It's very confronting. And I've definitely confronted it numerous times with things that I've created in my body, injuries, literally breaking my foot on stage and going through that whole process. Like, why did I take my dancing career like that? That's not fun. And other physical ailments. I've had to look at inside what my body was storing, the points of views, the energetics, the conditioning we got from our parents and our grandparents and their grandparents that have all filtered through the epigenetics and are now being expressed in our bodies. Just want to pause and ask if there's any questions on that. Everyone's following? Beautiful. Okay, so I want to ask a couple questions. One, what's one belief you've absorbed about menopause that feels limiting or scary? The weight gain, totally. Another question is, what are some emotions or thoughts you have towards essentially your body, your uterus and ovaries, and this process? Annoyance, that's honest, that's real, yep. Denial. And the last question, where and who did we buy these beliefs, thoughts, emotions from? My clients. Yes, that can be one for sure. Mother, big one. Yep. So they say that by the age of 7, we've baselined our point of view, our belief system. And that all translates into our behaviors, how we put ourselves, where we put ourselves, how we think about ourselves, what we create, what we don't create, how much survival mode we kind of start at, right? So if we're already absorbing information into our sphere, into our bodies as little tiny beings about what other women think about their body, and we don't cognitively change that as we get older, our body will remember it and produce it for us because it only wants to be in the light of correctness in our view. Say that again a different way. Our body will produce whatever we perceive is right, whether or not we actually like it or not. It's like, you think this, I'm going to create it for you. I have to serve you. Let me create this. Okay. So if we think menopause is this crappy, shitty thing that all women go through and it's a shitty experience, our body will be like, cool, let's create that for you. Right? There's a different possibility here. There's a different possibility. So the second little myth I want to bust is that if you just manage your emotions, you'll be fine. Well, managing emotions now, oh gosh, I just saw the media from Carly. Yes, the media portrays BS to us all the time about our bodies. So when you're dealing with emotions and energetics, it is so critical that we start to process what we're currently experiencing or what we know to kind of be the last like 5 or 10 years. Where we miss or don't have the tools yet is all the stuff our body has clogged up along the way from all of our experiences, all the shame and grief and blame and resentment and times we didn't speak up and the thoughts we had towards our periods and how we have absorbed again the female body. And we've also kept everything we've absorbed, inherited from our ancestors and the social conditioning per se. It's when we clear that shit that actually clears the way for it to be easier to work on the current things, which makes it way easier to actually change how we're perceiving and experiencing our reality with our bodies. And I want to also bring in the awareness that the organs hold emotions. You might have heard this if you dabble in Chinese medicine or you have like an acupuncturist or someone like me who's an emotion code practitioner. You've done any fascia work. Let's just look at some of the things that the sacral space and the reproductive organs hold. So anytime in your life, and like thumbs up, hands up, head nods, if you felt like unfulfilled or unable to express your creativity or your desires ever, or you've had inner conflict with finding that authentic self of you, right? Your sexual organs, your sexual energy, your sensual energy is directly linked to your ability and expression of the creation that you be. Anger is a big one that all women, most women, I won't generalize too far, but it is a very common one that we tend to stuff down because we haven't been allowed to express it. And I'm still learning how to express my anger because I've been conditioned to keep it in. I've been conditioned not to express it at someone else, and I've been conditioned to shove it in when it's about me. Personal struggles with womanhood or femininity, and how there's this constant back and forth of what's right and what's good and what's wrong and what's bad and what's normal and what's optimal and what's the right way to do it, what's the wrong way to do it, how to be more, how to, like, it's just a bunch of BS. And it always keeps us in separation of ourselves. And then feelings of guilt, shame, or repressed sexuality. I've seen this a lot in my clientele when we're not even working on um, body issues, but letting the guilt go, letting the shame go, unrepressing any time they felt like they've suppressed that sexual energy or that sensual energy because it was deemed inappropriate. Those three things were massive in releasing the cramps that I was experiencing. Um, those were three major, major emotions that I had to let go of. I had to witness. I had to just tell myself, they're here to be released. I don't have to hold them anymore. And I don't have to hold my mother's stories and my grandmother's stories. There were emotions that were trapped in my body around my uterus that shocked me when I asked how many generations back. And my body was a clear like 22 plus generations. Like like the lineage has just been holding on to that. And how, you might be asking, does that get stored in your like DNA? Well, epigenetic research is showing that we will have an experience, and if that experience has been suppressed or not fully processed, it will change how the gene or expression of something comes about. And if that gets passed down generation to generation, usually we see it, people talk about it in like major traumas, but I'm anytime an event happens where you stuff it, hold it, shove it down, happens, you alter that frequency of how that gene gets expressed. And then we see it in our children. We call it inherited traits. And we now know we can change that. Okay, we're almost done. And then we're getting to playtime. But another number three drama bust I wanted to address is either it's physical or emotional and not both. And this is where a lot of people in my industry will be like, like just do the energetic and you'll change the physical. And I'm like, well, we have both, so let's use both. And in the meantime, physical approaches are so beneficial because they help you see and experience a change. And then we want to go deep into the energetics that are holding that physical expression or creating that point of view, and do both, so that as we will like start to move our baseline, we will energetically change the undertone, which then will change the physical experience of everything. So I like both. But when we don't allow ourselves to do both, we get into this right, wrong, this or that complex. And that actually can produce a shutdown of information that your body is A, trying to express to you to release, and B, for you to actually receive different information that could lead you down a road that's actually true and light for you. So if we go back to the first thing I talked about at the beginning of the workshop, when I was like, your point of view creates your reality, or your thoughts, feelings, and emotions and judgments that you're holding in onto will create things in your body. If we're not open to letting all that go, we'll stop ourselves from, like I just said, release what the emotions that we want to let go of and our body is asking us to release, or stop the information from coming into our world to help us change something. It's true for light for you. And I say true and light very distinctly and on purpose because not everyone's choice of how they or what they put in their body to support this process is going to be the right one for a next person. So really learning how to be in communication with your body to ask it, body, do you want this? Is this going to benefit us? Would you like to receive it? And two different people with the same process or might have very different body yes, no's and experiences. And also, when we say that's how it was for Jane, then it has to be true and for me, and it's not going to work, or it doesn't end up working the way it worked for Jane, then we go into guilt and shame and blame on ourselves, which we are already trying to release from our body. So we want to be able to look at something and be like, okay, I'm going to try it because I'm getting like a lightness on here. I think it's a great option. But being okay with having to shift it if you start to notice your body's actually not responding to it without judgment against yourself. Is there anything you've heard that, curious, but you have judgment against it, that if you didn't have the judgment, would actually be true in light for you, would actually work for you, would be something to go towards? And now, before we jump off, because that time flew, quick opening to the group. If you have any questions before I call on a lovely volunteer to look at some emotions that their body is holding around this process.
If no one else wants to go, I'll go. But Lisa, Jan, I'm giving you, or Missy, anybody else, but I will gladly be the guinea pig because you know me. I was like, me. But Lisa, Jan, anybody, last call? Acacia, I'll be your guinea
Okay.
pig.
Okay. So I use the main thing when I work with clients, we usually start with emotion code and then we bring in a whole bunch of energetics in between that. But for today's purpose, I'm just going to stick with emotion code. Okay. So I'm going to
Okay.
ask you yes, no questions. And
Mhm.
I'm referring to a chart. So I'm very unbiased and it's just your body that's giving me the yes, no's. So do I have permission to connect with you?
You do.
So my name is Carly. And my name is Acacia. Ooh, strong connection. Those always make me excited. Okay. How many emotions do we have trapped around the perimenopause and menopause process here? Okay. So we have more than 10, more than 5, 6, 7. So you specifically, just around this process, have 6 trapped emotions. That's not to say that there's more trapped within each of those reproductive organs that are affected in this process or your body, but just the process alone is 6. So are these in column A? Are these in odd rows? Row 2? Is this emotion anxiety, despair, anxiety? Do we need to know more details? When did the emotion get trapped? How old are you, Carly?
I am 47.
47. Did this happen before 20? Before 15? Before 10? 11? 12. Do we need to know more details? No. Safe to clear it? Yes. So around 12, you had the moment of a bit of anxiety that came in. You didn't really know what to do with it, and you kind of stuffed it back in. Does that time frame, that emotion, ring any bells?
Yeah, very
Yeah.
much so.
Great. Okay,
Yep.
so we're just going to clear this. So I take my hand, it's magnetic to my body. Y'all can do this too if you want to join in. And I'm just going to swipe over 3 times my head. We play with the governing meridian line here from Chinese medicine. And we essentially take that energy and release it. This is where the yawning can also kind of increase sometimes for people. Great. Can we release another emotion? Yes, column A, odd row, 2, 4. Is this emotion anger? Yeah. Do we need to know more details? Is it safe to release this? So just a hard yes and no details needed, just release anger. So anything you felt recently, any cognitive awareness of anger, any subconscious awareness of anger, would you be willing to let it go?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's do it.
Let's let it go. There's a
Yeah.
lot of anger there. Let it
Ooh. Okay. Looking at the time, I just want to close really fast. Carly, you can message me. We can clear those other emotions. I would love to give that to you so we can get on another call if you want to. Uh, clear the rest of those.
go. Got a
Um,
lot to go through. The fact that you got 12 is like, I like that is uncanny. That it like that that's kind of mind blowing. So anybody watching or list like Lisa, Jan, Missy, that was weird in a good way. And anyone listening to that, that was like spot on. Okay, carry on.
That's normal. That kind of shocks a lot of people that I don't know anything about their life, yet their body is just clearly their body is leading and I'm just listening. Um, but yes, that's very common and it shocks me even to this day for my own self. I'm like, oh shit, I haven't thought about that in 10 years. Whoops.
Mhm.
Um, so yes, I do encourage you to connect with me. I do things one-on-one because I don't think that for this work, group facilitation is key when we get that specific, like we just experienced with Carly. Um, so I do 1 to 3 months. It's ready. If this is for you, if you feel ready to release those emotions and energetic weight you've been carrying, you want to change the way you experience your body in this phase of life, and you're curious to see what else is possible when you clear and no longer what no longer serves you. Before we go, is there any last questions that you all have or curiosities? Threw a lot at you. This is like a conversation I could talk about for days. Days.
Um, I thought this was awesome, and I thought it was super cool, Carly, where she got the 12, and that's
Nuts.
wild. But I was just wondering, like, how do you have any steps that you suggest that we can work on ourselves to kind of clear that almost like negative energy or that outside noise that sits in
Mm-hmm.
our head?
Mm-hmm. Beautiful question. First of all, I encourage you and invite you into looking at energy slightly different, to not put a judgment on it. It is simply energy in a frequency that we've given a name to. Those, that alone will help you come to whatever scenario you're in. If you look at, oh, that's a fun energy, that's cool. What else is possible? Do I need to have this? Does this serve me? No. Okay, I'm just gonna let that one go. When it comes up in things like, I know this is grief, I know this is anger, I know this is annoyance or being peeved, simply acknowledging them, and you can do the run over your head. You
Mhm.
can journal. You can just be like, everything I want to let go of, you can imagine it. I do this with a lot of my clients. We meditate as if like the particles, those energy waves are moving out of your field and into the universe. I have a couple videos, meditations on my YouTube channel that is my process when I meditate, is really tapping into releasing the fascia, expanding into the universe, and just allowing whatever energy shows up is fantastic. I think so many people get stuck in, I have to know exactly what it is to change it, but you may not have the language yet. So
Yeah.
don't let that stop you.
Okay.
If you feel it, oh, hi there. Okay, cool. Does this serve me? Are you wanting, like, ask the questions. Do you want to leave my body? Are you ready to leave my body? Okay, cool. Let it go. If you start to cry, okay, that's your body's expression of it leaving. And changing that, like, negative, positive, like, polarization on it, I think helps more people when they're not necessarily um, with all the tools or the language. And I still use it today. I'll get an energy where I'm like, that one's spicy. Don't know what it is, but we're not going to have it anymore. Swipe, 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 swipe. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Acacia, that was fascinating. I love energy work and all that stuff, but like that just like that resonated with me more than I think maybe I was expecting it to, or in a different way than anyone has said it before. In a different
Right.
way. Yeah. It's
Thank
easy to
you.
understand. That was really good.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'm glad you guys got something out of it. Feel free to like message me. Um, If you've got questions, if you want to like hop on a call and like see what this process is specifically to you, those like free consults that I do are for you specifically to get an idea of like what the body's holding and if this is the right process for you. Otherwise, take what you got from this and run with it and ask for the universe to show you what's possible for you now, whether that's a different modality, a different process, a practitioner, or just start allowing those energies to come up and you be your own guide and your own healer and changer and impactor and inspiration. Okay, thank you so much for joining me in that workshop. I hope you got a lot from it. Like I said earlier, I would love to know what your thoughts are, your takeaways. And if you have any questions, please hit me up in the DMs or put them down below in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. I love having a deepening conversation around this. And if you are curious about working further into your own journey, your own healing, your own health and wellness, and want to see what emotions your body has been holding on to, let's have a consultation. You can go to my website or the link below to get onto a free consult and see what the work is all about and how it could work into your life. And if we're actually a really good fit and the work that I do is the work that you're actually calling into your life. So have a fantastic day and I'll see you in another episode. Bye. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm so grateful I get to do life and conversation like this together. If today landed for you, I would love to hear what your takeaways were. Hop over to Instagram and hit me up in the DMs or leave a comment below. I love reading all of them. And if you haven't already done so, pay it forward by subscribing, leaving a review, or sharing this with someone that you love. These actions directly impact the show and they help us reach a new audience, so I am very grateful in advance. And if you want to explore working together or dive deeper into this work, you can check out in the show notes all my current offers and ways to connect. Until next time, everybody, have a magical and fantastic day.